Hello, this session is regarding the GL. What are the required setups we have to do in the GL for the Oracle Fusion and how to create transactions and other things. So let's start. For GL, we need a primary ledger, and primary ledger, as it is mentioned here, primary ledger requires the chart of account, calendar, currency, and the conventional method. So here, 1 second. There is some issue with laptop, so it is slow. Here, there was a spelling mistake for the calendar and currency. Okay. So in the Oracle Fusion, under the enterprise structure, what we have to set up, we have a business group. Then under business group, what here mentioned, we can have the multiple legal entities as per the like if the business in multiple countries. And accordingly, in the parallel, we have to create the primary ledger as mentioned above by mentioning. But to create the primary ledger first, we have to create the chart of account structure, calendar, and the currency. Calendar and chart of account structure can be same for any country, but the currency will be different for each country. That's why we have to create a separate primary ledger for minimum one primary ledger for each country. There can be multiple primary ledger as per the chart of account structure. So, but minimum one is required. Then legal entity we have to assign to the primary ledger. And after that, we have to create the business units. Business unit we assign to the legal entities. And under business units, we have the multiple inventories. And under inventories, we have the multiple sub inventories. So generally, it is just a summary about the what the other things we require, like the account details, how to set up the enterprise structure. So for the account, there are 5 types of accounts: expense account, liability account, equity account, what is also known as the owner account, and then the revenue account. And one is the asset account. Okay. So for account segment, there are some extra attributes, segment attributes, that is like summary. Its value is either yes or no, allow posting, allow budgeting. And apart from that, these three values are the common for each segment: summary, allow posting, and allow budgeting. But control account, financial categories, account types, these are the specific to the account segment only. Anyway, we can skip this initial details. Today there is an issue with the laptop, so that's why it is creating issue. Now, what are the roles required? we required 5 roles for to access the GL or to do the GL related operations: financial analyst, general accounting manager, general accountant, chief financial officer, and controller. So what is the role of the financial analyst? Financial analyst analyzes the financial performance of an enterprise or an organization within an enterprise. Whereas general accounting manager manages the general accounting functions of an enterprise, including general ledger, subsidiary ledgers, and cost accounting. General accountant role is he is responsible for recording accounting entries, reporting financial transactions, and managing revenue, expense, asset, liability, and equity accounts, do accounting adjustment, accruals, allocations, currency revaluations, and translations. So basically, major operations are done by the general accountant. So once we give access to the users on these roles and then on the R ledger or data access set, one data access set is created by the system at the time of GL primary ledger creation. So after that, user will have access on this page. Once user will go into the journal ledger, and by selecting the ledger on which he is having the access, he can reach to this page. In this page, if you go on the right side task panel, we have the option like manage journals, create journal in spreadsheets, create encumbrance journal, run auto post, run auto reverse. Apart from that, import journals, correct import errors. These are the some functionalities very frequently used in the organization. So first we will see how to create journal through the spreadsheet. So to create the journal through a spreadsheet, we have to click this third option, create journal in spreadsheet. By clicking on this, it will first connect to it is the ADFDI. It will be done through the ADFDI, and then it will be connected to the first Oracle application. So system will ask you to log in with the same login details, and then that Excel file will be open. In that, we have to select the data access set for which ledger we want to do this journal import, then the ledger, journal expense, accounting date, group ID, source will be the spreadsheet, and the category will be the adjustment. Then we have to enter the total, enter debit, and the total enter credit. Then we have to give this different segment values as per the code combinations, like what other journals we want to create on the debit side and on the credit side. If we scroll in the real time to the right side on this Excel, we will have the also debit and credit entry option. So after filling this Excel, there will be option to upload and submit this file. Apart from that, if you want to do the journal import through the FBDI, so this is the process. To do it through the FBDI, we have to go to the Oracle website that we can easily found through by typing the Aura Fusion something in the Google, and then there is a navigation. Through that navigation, we will reach to this page. Under Journal Ledger, there is a journal import, and this first we will have to download this journal import template Excel SM file. In that, we have to update all the data, and then we have to, by preparing that file finally, we will have to place that file on this UCM account location. We have two options. Either we can place that file to this UCM account location, or at the time of running the process, this there is a process load interface file import. During when we will run that process, in that we will have to pass this schedule process name import journals, and second parameter will be the location of that file. So at the same time we can give this that we can upload that file instead of uploading this file directly to this UCM account. So we can bypass this process. Note this, only this small process to placing the file at the UCM account. After that, once that process will be complete, we will have to again run the process import journals, and there are some parameters its system will ask. So once we will do the practical session, at that time I will explain you about those all parameters. Before that, we have option to, if like we want to do create the journal for some custom categories and the source. So we have to create the first journal categories and the journal source also. So this is the task name, manage journal categories. Through that we can create the category name. So it is very simple setup. After that, we can create the journal. If you want to create the journal in different currency, for that first we will have to check the daily rates between those two currencies on that specific date. For what date we want to create the journal. If that is available, then we can create the journal in the different currency. So here on this page, we can check by going into the manage daily rates. Like for this one, we check for the rate type corporate, and for this date, we are checking if the USD to INR conversion rate is available or not. That is available, so we can create the journal for this date, for this rate type. So as you can see, we have created here one manual journal. We took the category as the adjustment, and since this GL having this ledger having the currency USD, but here we selected the currency as the INR. So system is showing as the conversion rate and the inverse conversion rate for both for the conversion date 13th October. Once we have created the journal and posted, we have also functionality to reverse the journal. Let's suppose user realized after posting the journal that by mistake he has done something wrong value, so he can reverse the journal. To reverse the journal, under the journal header section, he can go to this reverse functionality by clicking on this journal action. First, he will have to go into the reversal tab. Then, going into the journal action, he can have this functionality reverse the journal. So he will have to mention the reversal period, and the reversal method. There are two reversal method. One is the switch debit credit, and another one is the change sign method. So mostly this switch debit credit method is used. What happens in switch debit credit? What the entries in the original journal was debited, that will be credited through this in the reverse journal, and what the original entry was credited in the original journal, that will be debited in the reverse journal. After that, it is mandatory to post the journal. In the change sign method, the same entries, what the original entries will be debited, same entries will be debited, but with the negative sign, with the same amount. And the original entry, what was credited earlier in the original journal with the positive sign, that will be again credited with the negative sign. So, but we mostly use this switch debit and credit method. So as you can see, after reversing the journal, this reverse journal name generated. So we can click on it and we have to post it. It is the mandatory thing. So here it is mentioned already. After reversing the journal, it is mandatory to post the reverse journal. Security can be applied now. Now it is another topic regarding the security first. So what is mentioned? Security. They can ask you like, what is the security? Like if the user can have access on a specific BU business, like let's suppose there are different uh, BUs. Let's suppose one BU is in the Noida, second BU is in the Bangalore, third BU is in the Hyderabad, fourth BU is in the Gurugram. So you want the user of the Noida only should have access on the Noida business unit. Gurugram user should have only to the Gurugram business unit data, and accordingly the same Bangalore and Hyderabad location users should have the access to that data. So that can be achieved through the security rules. Apart from that, there is a CVR, code combination validation rule. So what happens in code combination validation rule? We create some rules. In that we mention like this specific code combination is not allowed. So for that, system will not allow any user to create that code combination. Another one is the data access set. Let's suppose it is done based on the balancing segment value and on the primary ledger. So let's suppose there are, as I told you, as per the business unit. So let's suppose we have three users A, B, and C. I want to give access A to ledger XYZ read and write, but I want to give B and C users to ledger XYZ only read access. So that is possible through this data access set. But there are some constraints of each security rule, like data access set works only on the balancing segment. CVR works based on the code combination and irrespective of the user and the role. So we cannot do it like for a specific user or the role. It works for the entire organization level. Security rule works on the any segment, but on one role, but on role based only, not on the user based. If user has access on that role, then SR will be applicable to that role. It is not the user specific. So how to achieve that? If we want to apply security rule to specific user, so first we will have to create some custom role for that user, and then we will have to assign that role to our security to that role to user. And then on that custom role, we can apply this security rule. So as I told you earlier, during the creation of the primary ledger, a system generated data access set created automatically through with the help of primary ledger. So now here we will discuss how to apply the security based on the data access set. So to achieve that, first we will have to create a custom data access set, and accordingly we can give the rights, read and writes to that data access set, and as per our business requirement, we can assign that custom data access set to the different users. So to achieve that, we have to go into the manage data access set, and in that, as you can see, this is the already system created data access set. So it has the already access, read and write access, and it cannot be editable. To create the custom data access set, we have the option, then we can achieve that. So as you can see, we have created another data access set based on the original data access set or the ledger. So access set type, we have to select here the primary balancing segment value. Okay, in this data access set, we will select our primary ledger, and we will set its access as per the segment value. So specific value we have to take here as the single value. If we don't want to do as per the specific value, we can check this all values checkbox. In that case, this specific value and segment values will be disabled. But if you want to do this based on the specific value, we have to uncheck this all values and we have to select the single value in the specific value and segment value. Then we will have to privilege like to this segment 3000 for this company. What the read and write access I want to provide to my user on this ledger. Okay. Like if I give this data access set to my user, so my user will have the read and write access on this 3000 company balancing segment, but he will have only the read access to this 2000 and the 1000 company. After that, we can come to the cross validation rules. So what it is mentioned to make some code combination segment value as invalid, so that user will not be allowed to create. Let's suppose I have a let's suppose under my sum BU there is one department is not working there. Okay, let's suppose there is not finance department. So I want to put the check like for this business unit, this department. What is the value we have assigned for that department for center? That should not be selected, or any specific account should not be selected. So this kind of restriction we provide through this cross validation rules. What it is say the CVR rules. So to achieve this, we have to go into the manage cross validation rules, and we have to select are the chart of account against which we want to provide the name of the cross validation rule. It is a very simple thing. So first, as we have selected our chart of account, in that clicking on this plus sign, we have created the CVR rule name and the description and the active date, from what date to what date it will be active, and then make it enabled. After that, we have to give here the condition, like for what basis it will work. We have to give here the code combinations values, segment values. And after that, we have to provide here let me show you how we are doing it. And then if this condition justifies what the error message we want to display. Let's suppose this is the condition like company, these are the different values for this company. So we have like selected the company and then we have to mention the values here. Accordingly, after that, we have to provide the validation filter values and error details. Once it will be done, we will save and submit it. And after that, we can check its effect by going into the GL and try to enter the journal with this code combination. What is not allowed here? In that case, the error message we have mentioned here, that will be populated. Yes, populated there. Pop up there. Regarding security rules, we will discuss in the next session. Thanks all.